I'm going to teach you today how to plait in a very quick but efficient way. So the first thing we need to do is all in the preparation. So we need to make sure that the mane is obviously combed through, but also at a nice kind of length and thickness. If our mane is too thick, we're going to end up with big golf ball plaits. If our mane is not thick enough, we're obviously not going to end up with very much to be able to plait. I'll just give that a quick comb through. Now, everyone talks about putting kind of around 11, 13 plaits in, and then we always even it up with the forelock as well. So that's kind of what we aim to do. So all I've got here is a pulling comb. You can use a pulling comb or a main comb, and I've got my plaiting bands. I'm just going to pop them in my pocket. So the first thing we're going to do is section the mane. See, because she is quite short in the neck, we'll probably aim for around about the 13. Now when you section in your plaits, it's really important to try and get them all to be a similar size. And when you section them off, what we want is a nice straight line coming down the mane. We definitely don't want lots of golf balls. Lots of people talk about plaiting for the conformation, and what they mean by that is if your horse has a very short neck, you want to put in more plaits. If they have a long neck, you want to put in fewer plaits, because it can often give the impression that their neck is shorter or longer. It's not unusual to get slightly thicker plaits during the middle of the mane. That's because the crest is slightly thicker. So the next thing I'm going to do, okay, I've just got a damp, not wet sponge, damp, just with water. I'm just literally going to dampen the mane down. It's also, you can use hair gel, which is, if you've got a particularly spiky mane, that's always great for just keeping in all those little bits that seem to want to fly away. And again, we're going to wet underneath as well. So what we do need to think about is when we start the plait, you want 3 nice even sections within the plait, and you want it nice and tight. Okay, so once we've done a few, we can then start thinking about rolling our plaits. So all we do is we can, if we want the plaits to be on top of the mane, you want to think about rolling them from the top. So we always roll underneath, and we could do them like that and stick them like that. So that would give the impression that our plaits are on top of the mane. Or you can roll them, literally roll them round in a ball, which is a lot easier if you're sewing. I like to fold my plaits, especially on this horse. So what we do is we just literally fold. Now starting to look quite smart. And the more you do these, the quicker you get. So don't be afraid if you've got a show coming up and it's your first competition, don't be afraid to practice, because then you'll know if you need to maybe pull the mane or give it a wash. So if you were plaiting for a show, we would be using thread. But because we're plaiting to do it quite quickly, we're just going to use, and again we're rolling them twice. So you want the bands as low down as they can be. It's quite important when you're rolling your plaits to get them all going along the same line. One is for one to be on the neck and another to be at the side of the neck. We want them all to be quite consistent. Some people plait the night before a competition. I personally like to do it on the day because I think it gives you nicer plaits. If you've got a fidgety horse, don't be afraid just to give them a hay net, but it's quite hard to plait the top of a mane with hay flying everywhere, so you might want to persevere with the top of the mane and then give them a hay net while you're doing the bottom of the mane. And that is another reason that I did start at the top, because they're more likely to get a little bit bored the longer you kind of plaiting for. So if you start at the top of the mane, it just means that if they're moving around while you're plaiting the bottom, it's a little bit easier. But sometimes we find that horses have got a lot of wispy bits at the bottom here if they've had rugs on that have rubbed them, or you know, sometimes they just have a lot thinner mane. So what I would do is I would rather go for the same size sections on the neck, so the same size of these, and have slightly thinner plaits. Otherwise you end up with huge, great big wide sections just to try and get the same thickness within the plait. But actually it looks a lot neater from both sides if you do that with your sections instead. So you can see we've just got a little plait, but I don't mind that, that's fine. So when we're plaiting the forelock, you can either plait like we've plaited the mane, or you can braid, so basically like a French plait. So it's much quicker if you're going to plait it like normal, what really we should plait. In a braid. So again, we just take little sections, making sure all the sections are quite even. And it's important that we try and keep it as level as we can. Last band, and what we'll do is we make sure we tuck that right the way into there, and again we'll just fold it, and there we have our plaited forelock.